Welcome to this morning's live stream here on Periscope. If you're watching this on Twitter and you want to join in the conversation, then just head over to Periscope or download the Periscope app, and that way you can actually join in the conversation. So before we start talking about hashtags, I think it'd be worth talking about some of the things that happened in April and will be happening throughout May in the world of social media. So firstly, live streaming was without a doubt it's the big player in social media at the moment. It's gaining real momentum. A lot of big brands are starting to adopt it now. BuzzFeed, Mashable. I've seen football clubs doing it. BBC News are doing it an awful lot with various success. It all depends where they are in the world and what their internet connections are like. So it's a really interesting to see how the whole world of live streaming is moving on. Big fan of Facebook live streaming. I did one today. If you missed that, you can pop over. And that was all about hashtags too, and pop over and see that on my Blooming Social Media Facebook page. But much of that content is what I'm going to put out today on Twitter for the Twitter audience. So we're just finding that live streaming is a great option for many businesses that have been reluctant to explore video. Or want to explore video but keep the cost down, because then you can simply do it the same way as I'm doing it here. Sat here, a little bit of time to myself, daughter's in the bath, girlfriend's out for a run, and it's a perfect time just to do a little bit of sneaky content on Periscope, which then gets shared out onto Twitter. So nice little change to Twitter. There's been a nice trickle of changes coming out on Twitter, which is quite interesting. I don't know about you, but I'm really enjoying the content more on Twitter just lately. It just seems I'm seeing a lot more relevant content, which is nice. But also they released the message button. So you'll notice on a tweet now, when you see a tweet, you'll see there's a little envelope, normally second on the right. Hit that little icon and you can send that tweet directly to someone. I've already made really good use of that. If I've seen a potential lead for a client or someone within my network on Twitter, just very quickly just hit that envelope and share it straight to them, which is really useful. Facebook, I've been trialing something called instant articles for the last 6 to 8 months, I believe. That has now been released to the public, to us. What it does is it enables anybody who's publishing, publishers, to configure their content to be very mobile friendly. And what happens is that content on Facebook will load exceptionally quick, and I do mean exceptionally quick, within 0.5 of a second or whatever it is, rather than having to wait the average 5 to 10 seconds for something to load when you click through to your website. So instant articles is something we're going to be testing over the next 2 to 4 weeks, trying to get our heads around how that might work for small businesses in the world of social media. Facebook also released a slight tweak to the Facebook algorithm. For those that aren't comfortable with it or don't know about the algorithm dictates who sees your posts. So for a long time now, it's not everybody who follows your business page sees every post you publish. It would just be, Facebook would just be unusable if we all saw everything that was available to us. So what they do is they use the algorithm, the mathematics behind it, to decide who sees what. So what they've done now is they've put a kind of time algorithm on. So if you see something and just hit like, it's going to let less of a score and be seen by less people than if you spend the time reading it or watching it and then hit the like or angry or wow, whatever reaction you choose after. It'll understand how long you should be on that content, and it'll weight it accordingly. So read the whole thing through and like it. It's obviously a better quality bit of content, and it's more likely to be seen by more people. Also, Snapchat have been updating their app about every 2 weeks at the moment, and what they've released is these things called video stickers. Everybody's using them. I think they're struggling to see how they might be of use, but I see they will be of use. And effectively, you just pin a sticker to a snap, and it could be a short 10-second video like this. And for instance, if it was the end of my finger, I could pin a little graphic or something to the end of my finger, and it would follow my finger around. Really useful, actually. And it's interesting to see how brands and individuals are putting those to use. I'm interested to see how far they can go with that. Instagram, to everybody's woe. Oh, I can't believe how the internet blew up over this whole Instagram algorithm thing. So they've released it, it's rolled out, and it works perfectly. You know, hundreds of millions of people are using that app daily, and they need to stop it turning into another Twitter where it becomes too noisy. So it works perfectly for that kind of product, and we'll see more of the stuff we want to see. For brands, yes, admittedly, it's going to be a little bit harder to market on the product, but that's the way it should be. It's, these products are created for the users, not for brands. Instagram also are rolling out an upgrade to their video side of the product. At the moment, you can do 30 seconds video. You'd be amazed what you can do in 30 seconds on a video. But they're actually expanding that to 1 minute now. So I'm interested to see how people will take their micro content and slightly stretch it out to a minute. It can be, I think a good way to do it would be teasers into other content. So a very quick lead into it, and then people will click on the link in your bio to be taken to the full content. I'm going to keep a close eye on that and see what people are able to achieve. And Facebook released their latest figures. It's all part of their, the stuff they give for their shareholders every quarter. Some interesting stats. I haven't memorised these yet, so you'll have to wait while I read them off my notes. Their total monthly active users, that's people that are logging on at least every 30 days, is up 14%, up to 1.59 billion. Just take that in for a minute. 1.59 billion. Huge, huge number. And their daily active users in the last quarter increased 17% to a little over 1 billion. So that's every day at least 1 billion people are logging onto Facebook. What a place to be marketing, don't you think? So that's a little bit of a social media update, what's been happening through April and is going on into May. But the main point of this was to talk about hashtags. I do a lot of coaching and training for the Social Media Academy, or whether it's on client sites or it's just sitting down with business leaders, and hashtags always comes up. It's something so simple to those that use them effectively, but people still don't thoroughly understand them. So I thought I'd explain a little bit around hashtags. So hashtags have been around since, in their current form for social media marketing, since 2007. They were launched shortly after Twitter launched, and they were used to make it easier for people to follow discussions about brands, events and promotions. And quite simply that, it's a way of grouping messages together. Once a hashtag is used on Twitter, it becomes clickable. So you click on that and it brings up all the same related content, with a few caveats, mainly being that you never own a hashtag. So anybody else can use that hashtag for anything, and they can use it now, they can use it in the future, or they could have used it before you. So always do your hashtag research. And since then, they then rolled out to Facebook and Instagram and other social media platforms. You see them being used all over. To varying effectiveness. They're still key to Twitter. With some of the others, I'm not so sure. So in terms of Twitter itself, never use more than 2 hashtags. 2's enough. Remembering you're already restricted by the number of characters you can use. It's a maximum 140 characters. If you want it to be retweeted, then really you need to be keeping it below the 125 mark. Try not to go over the 125. Allows it to be retweeted. You add in a link and I add in a hashtag, then your post is done. So no more than 2, because it's just not practical. You use any more than that, then the engagement drops off massively anyway, because people see it and they just see a load of hashtags and they're not interested in it. In terms of Instagram, whole different story. You can use a maximum of 30 hashtags with Instagram, and where possible use the 30. Don't feel you have to be shy with your hashtags on Instagram. It's a key way of making your video or images be found. They say the optimum is 11 or more. Make life easy for yourself though. Do your research on your hashtags. Stick your hashtags in your notes app or on some app where you can just copy and paste them out of on your mobile phone or on your iPad. It just saves them to keep typing them up all the time. Simply the way I did it is I've got certain lists of hashtags within the Notes app, and depending on what I'm talking about, I'll go and just highlight, copy, and then paste them straight into the Instagram. If you do post something on Instagram and you forget to put your hashtags in, then you can, if you're quick enough, just post those hashtags into the first comment. So the main post and the first comment will get read by the Instagram software, and both of those will make sure it's indexed correctly and people can find your content that you've created. Facebook is the other end. You know, for us, we don't see a big impact with using hashtags on Facebook at all, on any of our Facebook posts. We have trialed them. We've done, kind of A/B testing, lots of posts with, lots of posts without, and tried to compare. And there's, the difference is minimal. Where I would say it's slightly different is if you're doing like an event. I would definitely, if you want to pick up your content off Facebook, then an event, you might want to think about using a hashtag. But again, do your research and make sure you've looked for, made sure that hashtag hasn't been used before. I went to an event last year, and when I did a search on the hashtag, I was bringing up a totally different event from 2 years earlier, so it doesn't make any sense. So hashtags can be a mystery for people. Just remember, Twitter 1 or 2, Instagram 11 or more, and Facebook, take it or leave it. And that's all I'm going to say about hashtags. Thanks for joining me here on Periscope or Twitter, whichever way you're watching it. And speak again soon. Take care.